Welcome back, fans, to another edition of the ECHL Insider as we preview the last few days of February and the first weekend of March. The playoff race is on, and we can't wait to get to it. But first, let's talk about some of the notable games from last week. And we'll start in the Mountain Division, where it was the Rapid City Rush sweeping a 3-game set with the Utah Grizzlies. They have now all of a sudden won 9 straight games, the Rapid City Rush. Looking very impressive right now. 14 points back of playoff position, and a lot of people would say, wow, that's too much. They're not going to make it, but Rapid City has other plans right now. It looks like they are looking to make a push in the last part of the season. And the Indy Fuel and Bloomington Bison played critical games last week, with Indy winning on Saturday night 3-2 in overtime, but Bloomington had a big response in store for the Fuel on Sunday afternoon, a 2-0 shutout victory for the Bison over the Fuel, and they right now control the 4th and final playoff spot in the Central Division, just 2 points ahead of the Indy Fuel. And finally, the South Carolina Stingrays were waiting on the Worcester Railers this week. 2 shutout wins for South Carolina. It started Tuesday morning, a 4-0 shutout win, and then Sunday afternoon, a tired Worcester team rolled into South Carolina again and were shut out 3-0. So South Carolina looking very strong. And Garland Bjorklund, South Carolina goalie, was just stellar this week. Well, that will take us now to our top 5 games of the week. We will start in the South Division at number 5, the Jacksonville Icemen and Orlando Solar Bears on Wednesday night in Kia Center. Should be another great game between these two rivals. You know, they've gone back and forth. And Orlando, they feel like they're comfortably in playoff position, you could say, in 4th place, 11 points ahead of the Gladiators. But these are important games right now between the Icemen and the Solar Bears. They're really fighting back and forth for that 3rd place. And, you know, you don't really want to see the Everblades that first round of the playoffs. And 4th place most likely will see the Everblades in the first round of the Kelly Cup playoffs. So really both these teams want to get to 3rd place to avoid the Everblades, at least in the first round. And at number 4, Norfolk Admirals and Trois-Rivières Lions will do it 3 days straight, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from Coliseum Videotron. Can't wait for this matchup, really. Trois-Rivières has just impressed me so much lately. 1st place in the North Division, well on their way to getting that 1st seed in the North, and they are looking great. But here's a Norfolk team that they want to make up some points, you know, in the North Division. Yes, they're in playoff position, but they want to see if they can't get to that 2nd seed or so. So should be really important games for these two teams. And Norfolk, they will make sure to challenge these Lions, I think. Lions have won a lot of games, right, in 1st place, but I think they will have their hands full against the Admirals at home this weekend. And at number 3, we'll take you out west now to the Mountain Division, where it'll be the Kansas City Mavericks and Wichita Thunder on Saturday night. Crucial games in the Mountain Division, right? Just 3 teams, Tulsa, Wichita, and Tahoe, very close, 2, 3, and 4 in that Mountain Division. So these are critical games for Wichita and critical for Kansas City. They could very well see Wichita in the first round of the playoffs. So very important between these two teams. See if Wichita can pick up a big home win over the Mavs. And at number 2, Friday night in Wichita, it'll be the Tulsa Oilers and Wichita Thunder going at it on Friday night. Get this, 1 point separates the Oilers and Thunder. Oilers currently in 2nd, Thunder currently in 3rd, but separated by 1 point. So the winner of this game could very likely take 2nd place of the Mountain Division. Just a critical game in the Western Conference in the Mountain Division this weekend for the Oilers and the Thunder. Definitely that whole division will have their eye on this game, seeing who will win this game. And if you're the Tahoe Night Monsters, you really don't care who wins, but you want it in regulation, right? You don't want that overtime loser point to be given out in this game if you're the Night Monsters. Should be a great game, though. And at number 1, get ready, the South Carolina Stingrays and Florida Everblades, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday night. As we have learned from previous games just this season, things can get chippy but when these two teams meet. So it will be a really good, close 3-game series, I expect, between Everblades and Stingrays. But that big crowd in Estero, they can definitely bring the environment. A smaller building, but normally sold out. It should be really, really fun to see between these two teams going at it for a 3-game set. And South Carolina, they want to gain those points. They want to see if they could jump Florida for first place eventually in that South Division. So should be really good to see how Cam Johnson in goal. We know how good he's been for the Everblades against Garland Bjorklund, goalie of the Stingrays. What a goaltender matchup that will be. But both these teams, of course, have great offenses. So a lot of great hockey will be on display in South Florida this weekend. Hope you'll tune in for that and enjoy a loaded ECHL schedule this week. Well, make sure to subscribe to our channel below. Check us out for next week's episode as the playoff race continues. And now we will have our fight of the week. Great scrap there. And we'll hope that you'll check out our video coming up next week.
Put in down low. Fornes Svensson has it now. And he can't get by Stewart. Stewart with a takedown on Fedoruk. Over comes Germain. Stewart still on top of Fedoruk. Referee trying to get him to separate. Fedoruk swipes back at him. Finally the whistle will go. And they get up and tussle into the corner. And the gloves are off again. It's fight number 2 for Stewart in the period. As this time he goes with Fedoruk. And Fedoruk is tossing right hands. Now Stewart back. Uppercut over the top. Uppercut again. And they trade big blows. Boy, lots of huge right hands being landed now by Stewart. Fedoruk had the better of him early, but then Stewart really came back and fed him his lunch.